Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Campbell Killer, committed the murder and dismemberment of 17 men and boys from the years 1978 to 1991. He was sentenced to 16 terms of life in prison. His time in prison came to a swift end after he was beaten to death by a fellow inmate. The video we're about to see is the meeting of Dahmer and his father. What makes this clip so creepy is how casual everyone appears to be, despite the horrific nature of the crimes committed. Take a look, and let me know in the comments below what you think.
Hi, Jim. Sherry, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You feel entirely relaxed?
Of course. How much sleep did you get last night?
What a way to start a week, huh?
Mm-hmm. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, too.
Hi, Jeff. Son Phillips.
Hi, Mr. Phillips. How are you?
Good to see you. I've been spending the last few days with your folks.
Great.
Talking about a lot of different things.
Hey, you're lucky you came up on a day when there's no snow. It was snowing like crazy all weekend.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How are things going here for you?
Slow and steady. Nothing out of the ordinary, really.
You've read the book?
Yes, I read the book. My dad sent it to me about last week, and spent all night reading it. Was up all night reading it. It was quite a surprise to me, some parts of it. Very interesting.
In what sense?
Just some of the things that were revealed caught me off guard, and just some very big surprises in it for me. But I enjoyed reading it.
What was it that caught you off guard?
Some of his insights into what he thought of me as I was growing up.
I've never talked to you about these things before, so
Right.
it was a surprise.
Very big surprise, some parts of it.
You didn't know about some of these things in my life.
No, I didn't. Very,
John Wayne Gacy, also known as the Killer Clown, based on his Pogo the Clown and Patches the Clown personas, was convicted of assaulting and murdering at least 33 young men and boys between 1972 and 1978. His method of killing was by either asphyxiation or strangulation, garrote. For his crimes, he was sentenced to death on March 13, 1980, and was eventually executed by lethal injection at Statesville Correctional Center on May 10, 1994. His macabre nature is demonstrated in the following video, with him showing a rope trick to the interviewer, hinting at his depraved action. Take a look.
He was simply discussing knots in general. Catch his sense of humor.
Shoelaces, huh? You're in trouble now.
Yeah, right.
Aren't you afraid sitting that close to me? What the hell? Oh, this is too long. Right, you don't need it this long. Okay. I had a rosary, which I carried in my pocket. I've always carried a rosary. It was my communion rosary. They said, well, what kind of a knot do you use? I said, what do you mean knot? When I tie things up? I says, depending on what I'm using it for, I said, the only thing I ever learned from Boy Scouts is a tourniquet knot. He said, well, show us what that is. So I took, at that time, and again, it's together, but in order to demonstrate it here, I took the rosary and I said, well, here, you put it around. This is hard trying to do this. Why don't you put your hand out? Okay, here. What I told him, I said, here, all you do is you wrap it around, you put one knot in it. And I said, then you put a second knot in it. Okay? Mm-hmm. I said, then you take a stick and stick it in here, and you just turn this. And I said, it causes a tourniquet. I said, that's the only knot I ever learned.
Precisely the kind of knot found on the ropes wrapped around the necks of the victims found under the house on Summerdale.
You admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another, are we not? Not 100%, but I am evil.
Richard Ramirez, dubbed the Night Stalker, was an American serial killer, serial rapist, and burglar whose crime spree entailed a series of horrific home invasions in the San Francisco area from 1984 to 1985. Ramirez was sentenced to 19 death sentences by a judge who described his crimes as being cruelty, callousness, and viciousness beyond any human understanding. Whilst in prison, he died of complications from B-cell lymphoma while awaiting execution. The following interview gives an insight into this killer's dark personality.
The world has been fed many lies about me. I have read very few truths.
Who are you?
Just a guy. Just a guy.
You have now entered a very rare group of people in this country. You're in the ranks of Charlie Manson, Ted Bundy. You claim you didn't commit these murders, but you're right in there now as far as everybody else is concerned.
Serial killers do on a small scale what governments do on a large one. They are a product of the times, and these are bloodthirsty times. Even psychopaths have emotions if you dig deep enough, but then again, maybe they don't.
Do you have emotions, Richard?
No comment.
Tell me what kind of emotions you got going through you right now.
I'll tell you what, I gave up on love and happiness a long time ago.
Why?
I don't care to explain that.
Somebody-
Let the quote stand for itself. People in this day and age are brainwashed and programmed like a computer at being nothing more than puppets. This nation, this country is founded in violence. Violent delights tend to have violent ends. Madness is something rare in individuals, but in groups, people, and ages, it is a rule. Killing is killing, whether done for duty, profit, or fun. Men murdered themselves into this democracy.
You're good at reading your script, Richard, but you're not much at answering my direct questions. A lot was made that you're a devil worshiper. Do you worship the devil? Have you ever studied Satanism?
There are different sects of Satanism.
Have you studied, just yes or no, have you studied Satanism?
Yes, I have.
Are you a worshiper of the devil?
No comment.
Come on, Richard.
I can tell you a little bit about Satanism.
Well, I'm interested in hearing what you got to say then.
It is undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. It is power without charity. A Satanist admits to being evil.
Do you admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another, are we not?
I'm asking you the questions, my friend.
Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil. Evil has always existed. The perfect world most people seek shall never come to pass, and it's going to get worse. The great epochs of our life is when we gain the courage to rebaptize our evil qualities as being.
The police station at the moment of my arrest, they asked me how many there were, and I didn't really know. I just gave them a figure. And because I was cooperating with the police, I decided I'll stick with it. You know? There were three of those victims were invented just to complement the continuity of evidence of the police, because just to keep them hands. Come the summer, it got hot, and I knew it would be a smell problem.
Yes.
But I thought, well, I'm going to have to deal with the smell problem. And I thought, what would cause the smell more than anything else? And I came to the conclusion it was the innards, the soft parts of the body, the organs and stuff like that. So on a weekend, I would sort of pull out the floorboards, and I found it totally unpleasant, and I'd get blinding drunk, so I could face it, and start the dissection on the kitchen floor. And I'd go out and be sick outside in the gardens.
What sort of preparation would you have to make for that?
What do you mean preparation?
Well, I mean, if you were simply to bring these young men's bodies into your kitchen and start to dismember them, that's going to leave an awful mess.
That doesn't leave a mess. Why should it leave a mess?
Well, it could, couldn't it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't leave a mess. You see, when people, in death situations where a knife is involved, there's a lot of blood flying around. I'd love to stab you right now, you have to stab me. The heart is pumping away there, there'll be blood splashing all over the place.
Yes.
Funny enough, in a dead body, there's no blood spurts or anything like that. it congeals inside and forms part of the flesh in there, and it becomes like anything in a butcher's shop. There's little or no blood.
So there's no problem with...
You get a plastic, you know these plastic bags that you have, dustbin liners, you slit one of those so it forms kind of a sheet. You hold the body out in front of the floorboards, put it on the sheet, and then cut it out.
This young man, he's dead. You have bathed him.
Yeah. But he's now me. He's now my body in the fantasies.
Yes. And so what do you do with him?
Carry him in, make him appear even better. I had some sort of wire fronts in cellophane and a vest. I put that on him because it enhanced his appearance in some way.
And then what?
Well, I would undress him and so he would be there.
What would you do with the body? Would you leave it on the floor, wrapped up, or would you do other things with it?
The most exciting part of the little conundrum was when I lifted the body, carried it.
Arthur Shawcross was an American serial killer. He was responsible for the murders of 12 women upstate New York from 1988 to 1990, as well as the sexual assault and murders of 2 children in 1972. He died in 2008 while serving a prison sentence of 250 years for his crime. His interviews are particularly disturbing due to the lack of remorse for his actions. Take a look.
Did you kill her? Probably strangulation.
How do you know when they're dead?
How? I don't know, just do. More or less after they just relax. The body relaxes, doesn't fight no more. It only takes about 4 minutes, probably. Sometimes less than that.
To see the body, is that right?
No, I went back to clean it up.
She was found with her head removed. That's
right.
How did that happen?
Easy, just pick it up and move it.
What, you just pull the head off?
Yeah, it was already off. That was a fit of anger. You know, we spent a day down at Turning Point Park, you know, feeding the ducks and walking around, and we were making out. And then she just flipped, you know, jumped up, says, "I'm going to scream, I'm going to tell the cops." I snapped her neck. Stayed there all day until dark. Then split her open from her neck to her groin. I didn't go all the way deep into the stomach area, just split her open. I don't know why. And this guy sits down beside me and he starts talking about the case, pointing out all the decoys. I'm laughing at him.
Why were you laughing at it?
Well, I thought it was hilarious, you know. He didn't know who I was, but he had to open his mouth. He thought he was talking to somebody on the team.
And he was actually talking to the killer?
Yep.
So that was 5 infamous unsettling interviews with serial killers. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.